Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa, your art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. How are you doing? I miss you. I hope you're doing well. There's been some excitement in the news lately. Have you heard? NASA and this really rich guy got together and they funded a launch for a rocket ship to go up into orbit. It was SpaceX. Look behind me. NASA launched SpaceX 9, a rocket with the Dragon crew. That was the name of the crew. Look at my rocket ship going up into orbit. How exciting is that? So the guy that funded this, Elon Musk, he's the same guy that created that car that runs on electricity. Electricity? That's mind-blowing. How amazing is that? And now he's working with rocket ships and helping NASA launch them into space. So we had some of our astronauts from NASA go up into orbit and circle around because they're going to be in our International Space Center doing a lot of research and looking out into the universe and learning things about what they see. So in honor of that launch and them being up in space and seeing what's up there, we're going to make something about the opposite. We're going to pretend that Martians are coming to our Earth and they're going to explore us like we're up there exploring the orbit and the space. So what do you think of that? You see what's behind me over here? That's what we're going to make today. We're going to make a little spaceship with some Martians in there. And if you could see, they're kind of landing on Earth. And that's what we're going to do today. So how about we get ready, collect all our materials, and let's get started making our Martians. Okay, we're going to need a few items to get started. We're going to need a piece of black construction paper because that's going to act as our backdrop where we're going to put lots of stars and the moon if you like and some shooting meteors. Your choice, but we're going to design the space out in orbit. We're also going to need a paper plate. We're going to need some paint. Tempera paint is best, finger paint, washable paint. Those are the best. If you don't have them, don't worry. We have an alternate that you can use. We'll need a paintbrush to paint, a marker. We're going to need a scissor for cutting. We're going to need some aluminum foil. I have Reynolds wrap, but aluminum foil. And again, if you don't have aluminum foil, we have alternatives. And glue, either a glue stick or some liquid glue. And last, we're going to need colored construction paper. I have a whole box of scraps. You can use scrap pieces, or if you want to use your colored construction paper, any colors you choose. And I'll show you what they're going to be for later. So any colored construction paper, scraps are best. And if you have a hole puncher like I do, that would be great. If you don't, we can work around that. So if you have all your materials, how about we get started with our spaceship of Martians? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get our paper plates. And what we're going to do with our paper plates is we're going to make a handprint right on top of the paper plate. And the way we do that is by using the paint. So you could decide what color you want your Martians to be. Do you want them to be green? Do you want them to be blue? You could even make your Martians multicolor. So if you do, you're going to have to paint your hand. That's the fun part. So you're going to get your paint and your brush, and you're actually going to paint the palm of your hand and all your fingers. And be careful, it might tickle a little, but it's going to be fun. Best if you use a washable paint. Finger paint, tempera paint, please, that's the best bet. Easy cleanup. I have a washable finger paint, but I already did mine, so I want to show you what it looks like. My handprint looks like that. I got a big hand. So what you need to do is lightly paint your hand. We don't want to put too much paint on our hand because we want it to dry. And we don't want to wait forever for it to dry. So after you put the paint on your hand, you're not going to make your print on the side of the plate that you eat. It's going to be the back of the plate. And you want to keep your handprint within this circle. Try not to go over this edge because we're going to cut that edge out later. So try to get all your fingers in the circle of the plate. And it's the bottom of the plate. Remember, it's the bottom of the plate. Okay? I already have one ready, which I just showed you. And I've already cut the top. What you need to do when your hand is dry, and if you don't use too much paint, it's going to dry quickly, is you're going to fold your plate in half just to give you a line so you know where the center is. And what you need to do is cut out the rigid part of only half your plate, because this is starting to build your spaceship. Okay? This is the beginning of building your spaceship. So we're going to cut only the rigid part out of the top half of our paper plate. So I have my whole handprint in the circle, and then I cut the rigid part out of the top half of my paper plate. Now, remember I said if you don't have paint that we have an alternative? Always an alternative. Here's another one I have prepared using marker. So what I did here is I put my hand on the plate and I traced it with a pencil. I traced my fingers going up and over, staying within my fingers, tracing all the way to the end. And after I traced it, I chose a marker, any color you want, and I colored in my hand. So if you don't have paint, not a problem. We've got markers. Yeah. So, oh, I see, you see my eyes, cute, my googly eyes. Okay, so now we have our handprint, and we want to start building our spaceship. So here's where our aluminum foil is going to come in. So let's get that out. I have my aluminum foil here, and I want to get just enough that's going to cover the bottom half of my paper plate. So I'm going to pull out my aluminum foil, and I'm going to just look at it and measure a little bit to see how much I need. I think that's a good amount. And rip it off of your little container. And now let's see. Here's my paper plate. Here's my piece of aluminum foil. And it covers the bottom and goes straight across. So this is good. This is a perfect size. The only thing missing is that little Martian down there. So if that happens, you could either choose to have 4 Martians, or we could go a little lower than the halfway mark so this last Martian sticks out. So I'm going to grab my scissor and I'm going to cut just a little bit more on the edge, the ripply side. I'm going to count them too. 1, 2, 3 ripples. And cut right across. It's hard to do this upside down, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3. Man, maybe that's too low. There we go. Only because I want to have all my fingerprints on my flying saucer. Okay? So I just cut it a little bit lower. See where my halfway mark is? I cut it a little lower so this little guy will stick out. So you can do that. You adjust accordingly as we're doing our projects, okay? So now, I want to take my aluminum foil and I want to have a nice straight edge. So we're just going to take our aluminum foil and fold just a little bit of the top down. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Hold on. Okay. I took my foil and I made a nice even edge by folding this piece down. All I did was folded this little piece down, and then I pressed, and look how even this edge is. It's a nice, straight, even edge, as opposed to this side. It's a little rigidy and some parts are ripped, and that's okay, because that's going to be covered in the back of our saucer. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get our flying saucer, and we want to go straight across and down, and we want to put some glue on there. So I'm going to glue mine, and you go ahead and glue yours. You can use either a glue stick or liquid glue. Either one's going to work for this project. Well, this glue's dried out, so that's not going to work. Okay, so I'm gluing the bottom of my plate, and I'm gluing straight across my plate. The bottom half is where we're working. So I know you can't see it because I have clear glue, but I glued all of this area here, all of it. And now I'm going to take that nice even edge, and I'm going to put it right across the top of my flying saucer. Okay, see how I got this? And my glue is going to stick to the foil. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to press down onto the foil so it sticks to my plate. And I'm going to fold in the bottom of this foil of my saucer. This is the back. I'm molding it around the shape of the plate. See how we're doing it? Foil is so easy to work with too. So it's all molded down around the shape of the plate. Back looks a mess, but that's okay. We don't care about the back. But the front looks perfect, doesn't it? So now we have our 5 fingertips sticking out. So I have 5 Martians. I have the bottom of my spaceship. And now we want to make our Martians. So if you see what I did here, I gave them each 2 and 3 eyes. You could do as many as you want for each of your Martians. You could give them hats. You could do whatever you want. But this is where my hole puncher came in. It was really handy. And I have this Post-it thing here. Post-it stamps, which I love this color. It's like this limey yellow color. So what I did was I punched all the holes to make my eyes. And it was so easy because look at how many eyes I got by using my hole puncher. That was the best part. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my Martians some eyes. So I'm going to grab my glue stick again, and I'm going to glue the top part of my fingertips. And I'm going to give my first Martian his eyes. See that? Did you notice I did this? You know why I did that? Just a teeny tiny bit of spit helps pick up the little dots, and then I could just place them right on my Martian. Easy peasy. So he has another eye. He has 2 eyes. Maybe I'll just give him 1 eye. Maybe I'll give this one 3 eyes. So I'm going to go glue that now. Little spit, not a lot, just a teeny tiny bit. Helps pick up these little dots. I made this guy with 3 eyes. You like that? Now I need to punch some more eyes. So I'm just going to get my hole puncher and punch away. There we go. Now, if you don't have a hole puncher, just get your scissor and make a little circle. You could either trace a circle with something you find in the house. You know, it's a good size circle. The bottom of a pencil or the bottom of a marker. That's a nice round circle. If you trace it and then cut it out, that would be a good one. You could find all size circles in your house. You could give them really big eyes if you want. That would be funny. You can make your Martians funny. You can make them scary. You can make them cute. Okay, so all my Martians have their eyes on now. So this is where my black marker comes in. I want to add a little bit more to their eyes to make it look like it's an eye. So I really just have to put little dots in the center of my little circles. Okay, so I'm ready to go. Dot, dot. Who's looking up? Who's looking down? Who's looking in 2 directions? Okay. What do you think? Now, I heard once before that Martians have antennas. So I'm going to give my guys antennas. And all I have to do is make a line and put a circle at the bottom of my line. How do you like that for antennas? What other animal has antennas? I think ants have antennas, don't they? I think ants have antennas. Grasshoppers. What else has antennas? Can't think. Maybe you could tell me some. Okay, how do you like that? All my Martians have their eyes. Some have one, some have two, some have three, and they all have their antennas, and they're all looking in different directions too, which I like that. It makes it more interesting. Okay, so now I'd like to add some details to my spaceship. This is where the scrap construction paper comes in. We don't need to ruin a whole big sheet of construction paper. I save all my scraps in a box because I know a time like this is where I might need them. So I'm just going to pick some of the colors I have in here. Look, see, I have a piece of red. So I want to make 3 big circles to go across the front of my spaceship. Kind of make it look like there's windows or there's nuts and bolts or something to make it look like it's a mechanical machine. Gives it that kind of an illusion. So I'm going to make 3. So an easy way to do that is I'm going to fold my construction paper. This way, all I gotta do is cut once and I'll make 3 circles. So I want my circle to be about this size. So I'm gonna look around and say, what do I have that's about that size? Ah, I found something. I found a paper towel roll. That's a big circle. So I'm only going to trace it 1 time. So I need my little pencil and I'm gonna trace this circle and I'll show you when I'm done. I'm using the bottom of the paper towel roll and I traced it with my pencil. You see that? It doesn't have to be perfect. If you didn't make a perfect circle, don't worry about it. Art is fun, not stress. We're not worried about things being perfect. So now I'm going to cut out that circle that I traced on the red construction paper that I folded like an accordion. So all I have to do is cut once. And guess how many circles I'm going to make? 1, 2. Oh, I actually made 4. But I only think I need 3. Yeah, because the plate's not big enough for 4. So here we go. I'm going to put 3 circles right across my ship. So I'm going to have to glue them on. So either you could put the glue on the circle first, which I did. And then I'm going to glue it onto the bottom part of my flying saucer. Okay, so here I have 3 big circles right across my flying saucer. Now I want to make 3 smaller circles for the center. And guess what? This is a perfect size, my glue stick. But I'm going to choose a different color. I think I'm going to choose green. You know why I'm going to choose green? Because green and red are complementary colors. They're across from each other on that color wheel. So again, I'm going to fold my construction paper. Now listen, if you don't have colored construction paper and all you have is white paper, what do you think you can do? Do you have crayons? Then you just color circles. Do you have markers? Then you just color your circles. Do you have colored pencils? Well, then you just color your circles. Easy peasy, no stress. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, now I'm going to trace this circle on the green construction paper, and then I'm going to color that in. Don't worry about perfection. We don't worry about that. We do our best. Look at my circle. It's kind of sloppy, but it's okay. It's going to serve its purpose. So my green and red circles, complementary colors on my spaceship. Because my aliens, no color theory. Okay, so now I have 3 circles that I cut with 1 cut because I folded like an accordion my construction paper. Once again, we're going to glue those right in the center of our red dots. So I'm putting glue on my circle and I'm pushing it down. Putting glue on my circle and pushing it down on the red dot. And I'll show you how it looks. Okay, what do you think of that? 3 big red circles, 3 smaller green circles. Complementary colors, thank you very much. And my little Martians. And guess what? They're not green. I liked blue Martians this time because I like blue. All right, now is our spaceship done? No, it's not. Okay, if a spaceship is coming down from up in space, he needs something to land on. He can't just land right onto the land on our Earth. He needs little legs. So we're going to take, you have a choice. Either you could get black construction paper. If I have any, that's what I'm going to use. Look at this. I got a teeny tiny piece, and that's perfect for what I need. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to make a fat letter L. I'm going to draw a fat letter L right down here. And I'll show you. I'm making like a block letter. Okay, can you see that? Look at that. I drew the letter L, and I folded this piece of paper. So when I cut this L out, I'm going to have two L's. So watch. You ready? I'm going to cut this L out now, because these are going to be the landing legs for my Martian spaceship. We're being invaded by Martians. They always say little green Martians, but in this case, I have little blue Martians. I like blue better. Okay, so I cut out my L's. So I have two L's. So when I glue them on my spaceship, I want the L's to be the opposite direction of each other. And I want them on the bottom part of my spaceship pointing outward. Okay? So one's going to be on this side of the spaceship, right here. And the other one's going to be on this side of the spaceship. This way, when they land on the legs. Invasion. Okay, so let's glue these on now. Ready? Let's glue. I'm actually going to put glue on the aluminum foil and let them stick right to that. Much easier. Okay, there's my legs. They're on my spaceship. Okay, so let's put our spaceships over to the side for now, because here's where all the fun starts. All right, I have a really big piece of black construction paper, which I don't need because it's too big. So I'm going to cut this in half really fast so we can get started with this one. Now, did you ever look up in the sky at night when it's really dark and see all the stars? What color do you see? Did you say white? Yeah, that's what color I see. I see all these twinkling white lights. So we're going to need something to make our white lights. Now, if you have chalk, that's great. If you have crayons, that's okay too. If you have pastels, those will work even better. Because we're working with black construction paper, so we want to make sure we can see what we're drawing. So I'm going to now turn the camera down so you can see what I'm drawing. So hang on, okay? Okay, here's our black sheet of paper. Oh, my leg came off. Hold on, let me stick that back on. And here's our spaceship. So we want to first decide, where do we want to put our spaceship? We want it a little bit on an angle. So we're going to have it in this area here. So we want to know that anything important we want to draw, we're not going to put right behind here because we won't see it. So just to give ourselves an idea. So let's put this over on the side. So let's start. I have some chalk here. I have some white chalk. So I'm going to start with just simple stars in the sky. Now you can make stars just by making little dots, or you can make the 5-pointed star as well. Okay, so I'm just going to add some stars. You know what would be really cool? If there was this big fiery meteor coming out of the sky. So how about we make one of those? I'm going to grab my orange chalk and I'm going to make a circle. And I'm going to color it in. And then I'm going to grab my red chalk and I'm going to color in the center. And I'm going to lay it flat on its side, the orange, and make it go away. Kind of gives it a motion. Looks like there's movement here. I want to use the bottom of my finger to blend the orange and red together. And then I want to add, using the corner of my chalk, just some more lines of fire coming down out of this meteor that's heading straight for Earth. Oh no! So let me put my chalks away. I also want to give the feeling that it is up in space. So let's take a yellow chalk and let's lay it on its side and just gently glide through the black paper to give us more of a orbity space kind of a feeling, that there's more than just the stars that we see, that there's galaxies beyond galaxies that we can't even see yet. Okay, so it's more of a mysterious, spooky type of a feel. So our spaceship's going to be over here, and we're going to be landing over here. So let's put Earth over here. Now, if you ever see Earth in any pictures or anything, I'm going to go right over this star. It's usually represented by either blue or green, because the blue always represents our water, and the green always represents our land. So I'm going to blend this with my finger, get this blue water from our Earth in here, and I'm going to grab a green crayon, chalk, and I'm going to build some land, just the illusion that it's one of the countries in our world. Okay, so we have land and water representing Earth, okay? So now, if I place my spaceship here, it looks like he's out into the orbit, out into the universe, into space, and heading towards Earth. Okay, this leg keeps falling off. Hold on. And we've got this meteor coming down, and it almost looks like this Martian is looking at it. So the next thing we need to do is we need to glue our Martian spaceship onto our paper. So let me get some glue stick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the edges of my plate and the edges of plate up here, because this isn't flat, it's arched in, because don't forget, it's the bottom of our plate. So the parts that are touching our construction paper are the edges on the back here and the edges up here. So I'm going to grab my glue stick. If you have liquid glue, you use that. And I'm just going to cover it with my glue. So this way it sticks to the construction paper. This is a clear glue stick. I like this. I know it's hard for you to see it, but I like that. And now I'm going to turn it upside down. Place it right here. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to have to move the camera. Hold on. Whoopsie. Okay. Oh, see, I didn't even need to go that far. And lift this up. And how cool does that look? Let me let this dry a minute, and then I'm going to hang it up. Okay, there's our finished spaceship hanging up on display. How beautiful did that come out? Oh no, Martians, you better be careful. I see a meteor heading your way. Beautiful. I love this project. That's the one we did together, and this is the one I did alone. I like the one we did together better. My blue Martians. Okay, kids, so that's the end of our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed making your Martians from outer space. Head into Earth for the invasion of Martians. And don't forget, you can use alternative items to make your project. If you don't have paint, just use a marker, trace your hand, marker, crayon, whatever you have. If you don't have paper plates, just make half a circle. Use your imagination. Everything will work, don't worry. But anyway, I enjoyed this project. I thought it was really cool in honor of that launch of the rocket into space. So, until we meet again, what do I always say? Always keep art in your life. It's good for your spirit. It's good for the soul. Makes you happy. Just don't make it stressful. Make it fun. Be a good boy and girl. You know that I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again. And I think it's coming soon, so don't worry. All right, boys and girls. This is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying ciao for now, and I'll see you next week with a new lesson. Bye-bye.